This video is brought to you by Instant Gaming. Plain and simple, you're looking for PC games, you're looking for Xbox, you're looking for PlayStation. You come here, find what you're looking for, find it at a cheaper than retail price, purchase it, get your game key, redeem it on Steam, and you're ready to play. They've got a vast catalog of all the hottest titles, even discounts on some that haven't even been released yet. You can get huge discounts on bundles like the Kingdom Hearts Integra Masterpiece, which is a $61 price point for Kingdom Hearts 1.5, 2.5 Remix, 2.8 Final Chapter Prologue, and Kingdom Hearts 3 Plus Remind DLC. All for the price of $61.18. You can get a month of Game Pass Ultimate, not regular, the Ultimate valued at about $15-16 bucks, and you can get it for $6.97 here, no questions asked. Instant Gaming, your game, your price, your instant. Just do it. Also, they partnered with me to host a giveaway where you can win the opportunity to pick out a game of your choosing. Make sure to check out that link and my affiliate link in the description below. Now back to the video. What's going on, people? Hope you're having a wonderful night or day. Today I wanted to talk about a game that was showcased during the recent Gamescom event called Towerborne. It's a game being developed by a company called Stoic, which is also the team behind the critically acclaimed series Banner Saga. During this deep dive in the Gamescom event that we're going to be talking about, the CEO and President Trisha Stouffer and Daniel McLaren, the game director, team up with the Gamescom staff to show off the game. It starts off by giving a quick rundown on Towerborne. If you're not familiar with Towerborne, this is a side-scrolling action RPG mixed in with some MMO light, as you'll come to discover further in the deep dive. The game features a social hub called the Belfry, and this is where we can take quests from, meet up with other people and party. Very similar to games like Monster Hunter, where you have that central hub, but when you're out in the open world, it's more co-op. There's going to be 4 weapons or classes available at the early access start of this game. You're going to have Sword and Shield, War Club, Dual Daggers, and Gauntlets. They took inspiration for this game from couch co-op games and brawlers and wanted to take things further than what people have done before. Towerborne is going to be coming to Steam Early Access on September 10th, and then in 2025 they'll be coming to Game Preview, which includes the Xbox console, PC, and Game Pass. Which means that Xbox players will not be able to play on the September 10th date. You can play with an Xbox controller, but if you're planning to play on the console itself, you'll have to wait for the 2025 release. This game is also being published by Xbox Game Studios, so if you're wondering why it was showcased during an Xbox event if it won't be on Xbox right at the start, that would probably be why. The game will also be free to play when it does release in 2025, and there will be wipes during the EA phase, especially before release, and for Steam Early Access, you'll need to buy a Founders Pack to gain access to the game. During the deep dive, they were playing live to showcase the game. This was not pre-recorded. The first area they showcase is Belfry, which is what I said before. This is the social space, so there's NPCs you can interact with. You can customize your character here or accept new quests and party with other players. It's essentially any hub you would encounter from an MMO light, where eventually tons of players will be running around all together. Out in the open world, the party size is a maximum of 4, and the cool thing about their party system is that when you're in a party and the leader goes to the world map to look for an objective, you can still be in town running around or doing whatever you need to do, and you'll get teleported into the mission when it's time. Another fun fact that they say later is that we will be seeing other players on the world map in addition to our party, so not only is it going to make the world feel more alive, but let's say you have a bunch of people gathering in a specific area where a mission might be really good, you can go over and see what's going on or join them yourself. The world map utilizes the Fog of War feature, and when you're first starting out, not all the locations will be available to you. They also stated during this point that these larger tiles we see that have names on them, like the one called Snaggleshire, are called Ventures, and they're infinitely repeatable and may also be part of a questline we're following. In the top left, we can see what appears to be one of the starting bosses, and from previous footage, I was able to find that this one is called a Truffle Club. The premise or storyline of this game is that we take on the role of a warrior called an ace, and that we've died and gone into something called an ebb, and we're pulled back by what is known as the Umbras. The Umbras are the spirit creatures you see floating alongside them and other players as they play, and they act as companion creatures with special abilities that can help us in battle. They describe them as something you could form relationships with, and you can find different Umbras that have different powers and do different things. And the 2 I heard them talking about during this presentation were Iska, the little cat ball that can fire projectiles, and the second one is Morby, who can drop a massive shockwave down from the sky, which is good for clearing out lots of enemies. They move on to talking a little bit about the UI. The red bar below our characters is what represents our health, and right below that we have what's known as the focus bar. Each weapon has abilities attached to it, and the abilities may require more power or less power depending on which ones you use. In earlier builds, you would get focus by just simply hitting enemies, but they noticed that players weren't actually utilizing their combos. So they modified it to where you get more focus power by completing your 3 or 4 button combos. They also stated that the combos will vary based on the type of weapon you're using. The gauntlets are very close combat oriented, for example, while you'll get a completely different experience with dual daggers or war club. You can also swap classes anytime you want, except for combat situations like the one they're in, and they will be adding new classes over time. The Umbras are not attached to your weapon, however, so you can synergize them with the weapon of your choice to customize your build however you like. And their aim with this game, just to pivot a little bit, is to create something that can be played throughout all ages. The CEO mentioned how they put the game in the hands of a 4-year-old and an 88-year-old, and both were able to pick up the game with ease. The game will be couch co-op when it makes the move to Xbox. You'll be able to play with your family, which is something I definitely plan to do. And it was also mentioned in their Discord that the progress you make over PC will be saved so you can pick it right back up where you left off on console. In their Discord, they also mentioned that there might be a couple of bugs here and there, but it should work relatively well with the Steam Deck. The mobs featured in this game are also extremely unique and vary from mission to mission, and each mission, or at least most of them, are procedurally generated, so you won't ever get the same one twice. They plan to incorporate seasons in the game, which will allow for constantly new flowing content for players to enjoy. Later on, one of the Gamescom hosts asked about the difficulty level of Towerborne and if it will be on a sliding scale. The response was that there will be a whole range of difficulty levels. They start you off pretty easy, damage level 1, and as you get further throughout the game, you can level up the world's difficulty in addition to selecting the difficulty on the tile, also known as the mission you're completing. In the early access build, everything is kind of fixed at the moment, but in a later build, they're working to incorporate a system where you'll be able to select different abilities and put points and attributes or something similar to that function. As you go through progression, the classes will level up independently, so if you want to switch between them, you'll need to level them up one by one. When you first complete a mission, it will allow you to unlock the adjacent tiles to either continue completing the missions, or go back to the tower first and upgrade your gear, etc. During one of the next segments, they start to showcase the character customization. They describe it as being very in-depth, with allowing you to choose all sorts of variations when it comes to your skin color, head type, hair type, eyes and eye color, and more. They also confirm that there is a cosmetic system, which I can already imagine will tie into the free-to-play model they plan to adapt when the game fully releases in 2025. Additionally, I'm suspecting that they may incorporate a Battlepass system just based on what they've talked about. For cosmetics, you'll be able to change everything from tip to tail as they describe it, and even the Umbra. There will also be emotes and stickers, a lot of items that will allow you to customize your character to the fullest. They also stated that not only will you see people running around the Belfry, but you'll also see them running around the world map like I said in the beginning. The difficulty also scales based on the number of players, alongside the difficulty that we set ourselves for the world and the tiles. As far as the combat, they mentioned that various weapons have access to dodge, but the sword and shield also gets access to a parry ability. You can even get what's known as a perfect parry to stun an enemy you're fighting. And lastly, they talk about when you've completed a mission, you don't need to spend time sifting through what you've looted. You can immediately jump into another one, head back to the tower to see what you can equip, dismantle stuff for spirit dust, which ties into the beginning of an upgrade system they're working on, which will come over the next year. The CEO also mentioned going back into town to access the forge as part of our progression. As a last detail, they also mentioned that you can open up your inventory from anywhere. And that's all the crucial information I was able to get from the deep dive, but if you're looking for more information, please be sure to stay tuned because I do plan to cover the game more over the next couple of days. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I hope you have a great rest of your night or day.